Good evening. This is Carla from Rehan Allahwala's World of Connections, and I'm getting back to Zoom. And why is this happening? Okay, here I am now, and I am ready to speak with Dr. TPS, who is from India in Hyderabad. And I'm really excited to talk to him. He's a very, very interesting character. Great smile, and everyone knows that I love the smile. And we are going to find out about his life, his work, and his passions. And having said that, I want to remind you, like all of my shows, this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace, one conversation at a time. Hey, Doc, can you please introduce yourself?
Namaskaram, greetings, Dr. Carla. I'm Dr. TPS from Hyderabad. It's a happy occasion. Nice to talk to you for the Institute of Peace. I am living for LIFE, life. I'm a retired space scientist who took retirement 12 years back and full-time into social service. I'm a Himalayan tradition meditation learner. I believe in the Indian heritage. I believe that we must understand the life and its pattern to make everybody to be in peace. So my time is for people around me. So generally I focus on teachers, parents, and students. This is what I do. This is how I spend my time. It's nice that Carla asked me to speak about my life, my work, my passion. For me, life, work, and passion happens to be same. It is not three different things. It is one and the same. My life is my passion. My life is my work. My work is my life. My passion is my life. Because I believe LIFE, life is live in full enjoyment.
Love it.
And life is learn in full enjoyment. And life is learning is an investment for future earning.
Yay.
And all my books are starting with the title life or ending with the title life.
Wow. How many books?
My poetry book, Rhythm of Life. There are 100 poems which I write, which makes children love because I gave a beautiful picture representation. And another book is the social media communication with my students, which is called Life Made Simple. And this is my first collection of poems, 27 poems, which is called Life of Love. So most of my books are on LIFE, life.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can you read one of your poems to us?
You want from Rhythm of Life? Give me a number from 1 to 100.
That or the other book? Okay. 15.
50 or 15?
15.
15. sword and love filled heart. Sword and love filled heart. Gayatri Devi, yeah, what a coincidence. Before the interview, you told me you were in Rajasthan.
Yeah.
And one of the most beautiful princess of India is from Rajasthan.
Oh, yeah.
Who is not Gayatri Devi.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the Rajasthan story, you have to have both sword and love.
Hmm.
So that is after my visit to Rajasthan, I wrote this poem.
What?
Gayatri Devi stood distinctly, Mansingh and Jaisingh too. Life charged beyond control, deep within, had a deep, pure soul. That's how the poem goes. This is available. You could download from my website. I'll give you the link.
Well, put the link in the chat after the end of the.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And everyone can read it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it because we were talking before the interview when we were talking about life and the three periods of time. The first period, people regret the past, people worry about the future, but really we all have just this moment now. Can you elaborate on that?
When we see a flower, we love to see the flower, smell it, enjoy it. Are we looking at the seed or the stem and the planting and watering, growing? These are all history. If you start thinking about it, probably you don't enjoy the flower. By the time you reach from history to the present flower, the flower will not be there. So we always look for the history and we are missing the present. The present is also called the present, which is also called a gift in the meaning of gift. So I keep saying present is a present. Present is a gift given by God. But we always go behind and see where it came from, who gave it, and then we lose appreciating it. So moments, I'm sure my discussion with Carla, the people who are watching it, that moment, if you don't enjoy, we lost it. It never comes back. But if I enjoy this present, probably it will come back to us to cherish tomorrow. So it's essential to create moments in life. So what is life? Life is number of moments which we create. We don't create years, we don't create weeks, we don't create months, we don't create dates, but we create moments. So every moment is important. There is a great saying in Sanskrit, the Indian traditional language, which gives the big quotes, which says, Nimisham Jolitam Sreyam. Nimisham is moment. Jolitam, you like make a spark, fire. That is much better than Nadu Dhumayitum Chiram. Instead of having a smoke which is hidden. So the past is like a smoke. The present is like a fire. So that gives light, that gives brightness. So Nimisham Jolitam Sreyam. It is better to live like a fire than living like a smoke which is past.
How can we help people understand that and make it more a reality?
We need good directions, good teachers, good mentors, good people who can guide them. Most of the parents become parents by accident. It is not by choice, it is not by plan. Academic institutions look for what we call it as avidya, creating money, creating business, creating job. Very rarely we have education to create a beautiful life. If you ask what you want, people may say, I want a good job. But they may not tell you that I want a good life. So how do you make people to look at the truth of life? We are only looking at facts of life. At every moment, we wanted to temporarily show that, oh, how are you feeling? General conversation also, we keep asking, how are you feeling? The feeling is only a feeling. Being is more important. We are not asking, how are you being? We are in a world of pretension. We are not in a world of the truth. So what is essential in life is to create truth. Be good, not show good. If we can do that to the next generation, I'll tell you, probably this generation where I am going through, especially in India, if you ask me whether my father was great, I'll say, yeah, my father was great. My children, I'm 100% sure they are going to be great. But me, I doubt. So we always feel we want our future to be good. Parents are good, but something is lacking. What is it lacking? Because we are not using ourselves fully. Many people, when teachers or parents or somebody criticize and say, you are useless, I say, I am not useless, I am useless. So we need to create opportunities for people to become more and more useful. Tell them that you have got great capability, you can change, you can make changes. If you have such leaders, they are called not leaders. In Bharatiya Shastram, they are called acharyas. Not preaching, but doing and showing so that people will follow you. We need people who practice what they speak. If we have such people, I'm sure few people are good enough. I think Carla has looking for words to us. Continue discussion.
I'm just so happy to be talking to you. You know, the educational system really is not very educational. I completely believe that we should be teaching children to be good citizens, to be able to have human values, which is exactly what you were just saying. How can we, what do you suggest we should do with the field of education to make it a better place and a better thing and useful for not only the children, but also for the people who are teaching the children? Instead of worrying about whether they can do math, multiply and divide and read and write, they're important things. But the underlying characteristic of human values comes before learning, reading, and writing. And I'd like your thoughts on that.
You are in America. We had a great man who took Indian philosophy to America in the first Congress on World Religion, which happened in Chicago.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Swami Vivekananda. And that was his first public lecture. You can imagine somebody goes from India and who is not a public speaker and speaks in Chicago And next day newspaper carried only Swami Vivekananda's name out of nearly 40 speakers were there. Because that was so impactful. He believes, and I believe, reading from him, education is man-making. Education is man-making. Simplest, nothing else. And what is man? Man is human being. Being human. Social being. Being social. But we are not. We are making children to become selfish. Don't talk to anybody else. Live for yourself. Keep account of anything which you do for somebody else. So we have days categorized for helping people. It is not a regular everyday activity. Our education system is not holistic. We are making children to learn maths, children to learn physics, children to learn English, children to learn different subjects. It's like teaching them how to cycle on this road, this road, this road, this road, but not teaching them how to cycle at all. So I don't teach maths, physics, chemistry. Today also I have got session where I talk about some subject learning, but my topic is learn to learn. If you don't learn to learn, we always want teachers beside us, and we want them to tell us how to cycle, because we are not giving them the adventurous way of discovery way of learning. I've got a book called, this is my book on education, adaptive learning. We are not making our children adaptive learners based on situation, based on subjects. If I am a good cook, I know how to cook one item beautifully, I cannot be called a good cook. I am a traveler, I cannot be called as a good traveler if I travel same route every day. So if I am a learner, I must be able to learn anything and everything around me. And that capacity only human being, man, is gifted with. There is a great saying on education in Indian philosophy. Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithunani, Samani Chaitani, Nranam Pashunam. Food, Aharam, Nidra, sleep, Bhayam, worry, Maithunam, sex. All animals and human beings are equal. Maybe human beings have more over a period of time. Jnanam naranam adigo vishesho. The ability of human being is that knowledge which makes us really human. That knowledge which makes us really social. How much concern we have about the people around us. Every living being, every animal, every plant, every microbes have got a purpose in this world. But human beings, we have not even identified what is the purpose of life. So if that can be defined, if that can be understood, and that can be educated, that can be taught to the generations to come, I'm sure the world will become so good, because we have richest nature around us. Every environment is good for living, but we have become over selfish. Economic development is considered as development. Internal personal development is never given that importance. So we said development. Everybody understands development means, oh, you have beautiful house, air conditioned car, everything is air conditioned inside, but outside it is not at all conditioned. When we condition inside, we are actually polluting outside. When we condition inside, outside also will get conditioned. So education should be to understand we are part of the nature, we are one with the nature. Development is considered as keeping away from nature. Education should be close to nature, make people to work in the field, Don't go and visit villages. Stay in villages. Identify the whole world as one family. Share everything which we have. That should be the part of education. Education is man making, being human, being social, beyond boundaries.
I love it. Back in, it was 1989 when I first met Sri Ravi Shankar. And he wanted me to do a paper on education. And he said, make these three things the most important things. And one was that you should laugh at your mistakes because that helps you learn. You make a mistake, you learn not to do it again. 2, make the teacher your own, and the teacher makes the student his own. So you belong to the teacher, and the teacher belongs to you. And 3, make a friend every day. And in the middle of this, at some point, you learn math, you learn reading, you learn writing. But if you learn these 3 qualities, then education becomes education. And I'm wondering how you feel about that.
Because Carla mentioned about Ravi Shankar. Ravi Shankar's guru, the teacher, was Maharishi Mahayogi in America. Maharishi Mahayogi had 1 year training on Indian temple rituals from my guru. So I am connected to Ravi Shankar's guru because Ravi Shankar's guru's guru is my guru. Brahmasri KPC Anujan Bhattadaripad. He stayed in my house, I stayed in his house. We traveled together to Himalayas. We traveled together to Kailash, Nepal. Crossing Nepal, we go to Kailash. Kailash is supposed to be the center where we have Shiva, Parvati, the god. It's called God's own valley. So I traveled along with my guru, Brahmasri KPC Anujan Bhattadaripad. That's how I connect. What is essential for all of us to understand is everybody can become teachers for subjects. But if you want to be a teacher of life, you need not understand your way of life, but you understand the common way of life. Like a doctor to treat, you don't have to suffer that disease. What you do is you do an analytical pathology to understand what is wrong, and he can refer and prescribe what is. If the pathology is wrong, the treatment is wrong, the reactions become worse. So we need a good pathologist. We need a good analyst. Most of the time in life situations, we don't do a pathology. We do a pharmacist job of giving medicines without even analysis, without even diagnosis.
Yes.
If that can be done, I don't think we quote people who are famous in the world, because we don't have a famous doctor in the world who treats lakhs of people. But pathetically, we see in the spiritual world who guide people by copying prescriptions, quoting the quotes, and say, oh, great guru. There is nothing called a great guru because there is nothing called a great doctor. The great masters are not there. Famous masters should not be there. They actually mislead, like a famous doctor gives prescriptions printed and then circulate. People need masters to whom you can speak, dialogue, learn, talk. Every textbook what is written, probably a medicine textbook which is written 100 years back, 50 years back, is not that as it is useful today. The basics can be same. Similarly, all the mythology, all the preachings, all the religious textbooks need to be understood in today's context, how we can modify it, not taking as it is and propagating. Therefore, people lose the faith. People don't take it into face value. So we need somebody who can recreate that sort of a lesson which will clean the society from religious bad practices, from the mastery of quotations. I wanted to write a book, which I'm seriously on it for long years, but I'm not able to get into that totally. The reflections of life. I wanted to rewrite quotations of earlier quotes. People keep using old quotations sometimes. Familiarity breeds contempt. Carla, do you agree familiarity breeds contempt or familiarity breeds love?
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah, but then people only quote familiarity breeds contempt. That is not really correct. Familiarity also can breed love.
Right.
Because when I know you, I am with you, probably we understand both together. That understanding can turn into love. Why only contempt?
I mean,
so sometimes contextually what is written sometime back need not be correct today. I was talking on Indian mythology and saying we understand characters in the mythology, but we don't understand the context in which it's written. Therefore, message may not be carried in the same style. So most of the literature has to be understood contextually.
right.
We only learn, we don't understand. That's a problem. Learning is entirely different from understanding. We have in Bharatiya Shastram Vidya. Vidya is knowledge. We have Savidya, we have Avidya, wrong knowledge, right knowledge. We have Vivekam, discriminative power. Actually, knowledge is discriminative, whether this is good or this is bad. What is good and bad? Where, when, why, how, in front of whom, all these matters. So contextual. What I do in front of somebody may be right. What I do in front of somebody else can be wrong. What I do in India can be right. What I do in America can be wrong.
The cultures are different.
Yes.
And
What
yet,
what I do in the evening can be wrong. What I do in night can be wrong. What I do in day can be different. What I do in dark has to be done in dark. What I have to do in light has to be in light. Daylight, what I do cannot be done in night. There are differences.
dichotomy, that's the right word I want to use, in the world. And we can't say one thing is true all the time or one thing is false all the time. It all depends on context.
True, false, facts, these are all contextual. There is only one truth. But from where, which direction, how I am looking will make it look different. So truth, we don't know the truth. We know only facts. From my knowledge as of now, today, with the brain logical analysis, which I can do, I believe this is the truth but you believe this is the truth. So this is my fact, this is your fact. I believe this is a pen. Oh, from the look, it looks like a pen. Unless I write and see it is writing, yeah. So I need experiment. There are beautiful flowers today. Oh, it looks exactly like a flower. Unless we smell it, no. Smell also cannot find out which is, because you can have spray, which will give a smell. Sometimes I have to burn it to see whether it is plastic or natural. Otherwise, I have to keep it for a long time to see whether it is live or maybe duplicate. The world is full of duplicates, fake. So you need experiment today.
However, we have one thing that runs through the world that never changes, and that's the breath we breathe. And that unites all of us. I gotta sneeze. Go on.
When you can enjoy your breath. How many people are aware of, I'm a meditation master from Himalayas tradition. What we teach is only how to breathe, how to be silent. How many people knows how to breathe?
Very few. And very few people understand that we all breathe the same air, whether we're in India or the United States or Pakistan. And that air is the essence of all our lives. And if we could only see that, there would be no fear or war in the world, because we are connected.
We are connected in the air, the spirit, air, fire, water. When it flows on the ground, there is fight. On the ground only fight. And if we can enjoy that air which breathes, we understand that this is the air which connects me and you. My guru keeps saying, don't hold breath. Many of the breathing practitioners say, hold breath. So he says, don't keep, it's not yours, it's somebody else. We share. When I breathe out, it goes to somebody else and he can breathe. So what is commonly shared is only air. Water, no, still it's yours. Ground, we cannot share. I'm standing in a place, I cannot share somebody else to stand there. But the air which we breathe goes out. So if we can enjoy that air, if we can understand this is what same Swami Vivekananda used to tell, you want to learn meditation, breathing practice, there is a beautiful method. Hold your nose and then dip inside water and ask what you want. You will say, I want one breath. And when you get that breath, very close to death, when you get one breath, you feel so happy. You understand the basic requirement of life is breathe. And if you know the value of it, we know the value of life. We have to consider, and that we share. My breath I share with somebody else. So what is most essential, we share. What we keep without sharing is what is not necessary for us most of the time. So that connects all of us together. Air is that connects all of us. Understand the value of that air which I share. So what is essential is not the truth, not fact, not false, nothing. Compassion, love, care, share. That is the essence of life.
I agree with you. And yet it's so simple that people won't go back and listen to that and listen to their own breath. Because if you did, then you could manifest, you could make the world. Everyone has the power to make the world as they want to see it.
The world is so rich. Nature is so rich. There is abundance of resources. Natural resource is so great, so large, varieties. But what we do is create one type instead of varieties. If we can make the nature to, one of my poem is, I want a world with less of head and more of heart. Undivided earth, that is what I look for. I want an earth which is not divided. What is life for all of us is dividing. We want boundaries. We want compound wall. Here it says undivided earth. It says, if the whole human race disappears from the worldly earth, because we changed earth into worldly earth, without the slightest trace, what will happen to this world? To live free, at the end of the poem is to live free and fair, to see the earth as the undivided one. So can we have a world undivided, without boundaries? Why do we want the family to be divided? Family itself means the unitedness, religion. Kudumbam is the Sanskrit word. Kudumbam means when we join together, we feel imbam. Imbam means rhythm. When we join together, we have a rhythm of music. That is called a family. So every Saturday, I have got a music program which I organize for last 600 days old. During the COVID, every day I used to have some program online. One of the program which I did in series of programs is Saturday music programs. And Saturday music program, different people from different languages join together and we learn music from one language to another language.
And what's so cool about that is that music itself combines us, because we are really just vibrations. And if the music resonates with us, we relax. And if it doesn't, we get all hyper. So it's all back to the vibration which we are, and there we breathe.
Our life itself is called electromagnetic energy, vibrations. And that vibration is a wave. And every sound is wave. But music has got a wavelength, a frequency which can match with most of the living beings. Animals also enjoy music. Yesterday we had a program in which we had an Indian music khadap. It's like a small vessel on which she makes music, and it is accompanied by the violin. So we have an east and the west mixed together, but we don't see. The symphony is so good, the harmony is so good. I'm sure music can connect to people and make life more rhythmic, more harmonious.
Definitely. And if it is more harmonious, what do you think our world would be like? It would be a joy to be here.
We need more dialogue. Yeah, we need to understand each other. We need to talk to each other. I think only human beings have this capability to connect, to talk to each other like this. Animals, ahara nidra bhaya maithunani samani chaitani nranam pashunam. Jnanam naranam adhigo vishesho. Knowledge is extra to human being. Give knowledge, not certificates. Education need to be something where we part knowledge, discuss about life, what we are doing now. These sort of dialogue should happen quite often with the people from different parts of the world. There will be a lot of harmony. I'm sure people listen to this will have a different view on life, different view on the whole world, religion, nationality, politics. Beyond that, there is a humanity. We need a religion of humanity, a politics of the social life, and connectivity not by nation to nation, but by whole humanity together.
Let's make
We can all.
and we can all do that. I want to thank you. We're really over time, and I know you have other things to do. But thank you so very, very, very much for speaking to me. Can you give us some words of wisdom, and the audience, that they can take away from here and think about?
It was nice. This dialogue I will remember 15th December 2021 with Carla. I could reflect something because you have that bright torchlight which gives light to me. I'm sure people should have a lot of questions. Quest for knowledge. Quest for knowledge gives knowledge. If you don't have quest for knowledge, education becomes only learning but not understanding. So don't learn for certificates. Don't build your credential with certificates, but build your life with knowledge. That will have a lot of impact on your inner self. And that inner being can create a better being around you. So you have to be a torchlight bearer where you can guide people around you. If we can create such leaders, I'm sure this dialogue throws some light towards that path. I'm so grateful for Carla and this time which we have spent together.
I'm very grateful that you took the time to speak with me. And I want to thank you for speaking.
Thank you.
Tonight.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank all the people who are listening to this.
And I want to thank all those who are listening. You're doing it for me now. And I want to remind everyone that this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace that Rehan Allahwala created. And what we do is we speak peace into the world, one conversation at a time. And at this moment, we're going to thank the Institute of Peace. I'm again going to thank Dr. TPS, which is teacher, pupil,
Parents.
Teacher, parents, and students coming together into one entity. And we're going to wait, and we'll see you again at the next. Bye.
Good night. Good night. Inshallah. God bless you. See you soon.
And don't